There are tons of dress to impress tips, but today I have gathered my top 5 dress to impress tips that I think personally made me a lot better at outfits. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So makeup is another thing I see enough people talking about, and it's something that people really need to start thinking about when they're making their outfit. For example, if you don't have custom makeup, you want to avoid faces that don't have noses. And the reason you do this is because faces like this are a lot more realistic, they're a lot better, and faces like this, I think that's a really good face as well. I think they're basically just a lot better faces, and if you don't have a good face, even if you have the best outfit in the world, it's gonna completely ruin it. And if you have a really generic face that everyone sees, like everyone is wearing, and also if you do have custom makeup, then another thing you can think about doing is don't just like go around, like as you can see these are my custom makeup, but when I first got custom makeup I would do like the brightest blue eyes, the pinkest lips, the blushiest cheeks ever, and it was a mess. Okay, it was something. So here's what I would normally do for my custom makeup if I was like back in summer when I first got my custom makeup of 2024. So I've been having it for like a year now, and I think I've really improved. But this would be my makeup, and there's nothing wrong with this makeup, but I honestly feel like if you just go to, this is one of my more realistic faces. As you can see, there's a lot of dimension going on, and it's a lot better. And personally, if I see a really realistic face, I'm likely to give it a lot more stars. Okay, this is probably the biggest thing that changed my outfits forever in Dress to Impress, and that is doing hair combos. But not only that, you want to get different kinds of hair, and you're not just going to be using the normal blonde that's made in the palette or the normal brown. No, no, no. So for example, I'm trying to go for like a strawberry blonde, ginger, and you can save them, and those can be your hair colors. Don't mind if they don't look anything like it in the palette. That's not gonna matter because it does look like that. And you can even use like the normal colors and just like venture for them a little bit in the wheel. And as you can see, that's a really realistic blonde color, and you can use that palette, and it just makes it so much easier. So the next tip I have is when you're doing your top or whatever you're doing in your outfit, you need to experiment with textures and patterns. And don't just use the same color, use different shades and different deepnesses and lightnesses of that color. Sorry, I haven't looked at the color theory like people have, but I haven't. But here is what I do. You want to try to include at least 1 or 2 patterns in your outfit. I'm really bad at this because I just don't seem to be able to do it in time. But if you are doing an outfit, try and include a pattern that matches the colors in your outfit. And if it has a different color in it, try and include that in your outfit as well. And here's an example of me coloring and detailing everything. And here's the final result. I think it turned out really good and very detailed. Another tip I have is don't be scared to venture just from the preset skins. You can use them as a base, like the skin as color as a base, but you can vary in the color wheel and you can make some really fun skin colors and different skin tones. So don't feel restricted to just that palette, because the color wheel is there for a reason and it can make your outfits really detailed and really gorgeous. You see so many people doing this, not only in ethereal outfits, but also in human outfits, so I think it's a really great option. It's the exact same thing with ethereal outfits and non-human outfits. Using like a green, you don't have to just stick to the color palette given to you in the skin tone machines. And then I'm just going to do a really quick, really bad ethereal face here. Something like that, you get the point. I'll probably be able to make something a lot better for the thumbnail, but you know, that's just a rough idea. It's the top 5 tips that help me get better at Dress to Impress. If you enjoyed this video and want to see a part 2 or anything, make sure to let me know down in the comments. And that is all for today's video. I hope you have a beautiful and bright day, and I'll see you next video. Bye!